Hey everyone, this is Matt Hendricks with Follow the Leader Dog Training, and today I want to talk to you about putting in the work and repetitions. So one thing that I don't think gets talked about enough is the amount of time you have to spend training your dog. Now, a lot of people look at my videos or my Facebook posts or whatever, and they're like, I can take a dog and, within really a few minutes I can, have them so they're not pulling on the leash and all that. And they see dogs come in for board and train, and within 2 weeks or 3 weeks or however long the dog's here, I can take the dog from basically being untrained to being where, I can have him out off leash and it looks, like a trained dog. And and it is a trained dog. And they're like, so they imagine it going really fast, and in some sense it does. But one thing that I think is missed a lot is that when the dog goes home, the owner still has to continue the work. Or if they were doing private lessons, they just have to keep doing the work even after the training sessions are over. See, you can't just train your dog for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and then not do anything with your dog and expect it to work out. See, the board and train or the private training, or if you're training your dog yourself, the actual training part is just a start. The first few weeks when you're just teaching your dog and going through all the different phases and getting your dog to the point where you can say, yes, this is a trained dog. Then at that point, you have to keep going and keep working with your dog and keep practicing with your dog day after day, week after week, month after month. And you have to do the repetitions and you have to do the exercises over and over and over to really make it stick and to really make sure that your dog is trained for life and not just for a couple weeks. Because if you just want a quick fix, in one sense you can have the quick fix. It can be like, okay, well, my dog was pulling on the leash. And then, you can come for a walking program and 2 lessons later, your dog's not pulling on the leash. But if you don't maintain that once you go home and you don't continue building on that relationship that you have with your dog now, then your dog will just go back to pulling on the leash or barking at other dogs or whatever it was. So it's not necessarily that it's hard work. It's really fairly simple, and most people can do it pretty easily. And especially, if they come for help, with instruction, they really can do it fairly simply. It works pretty well for people. But you do have to keep doing it. You can't be like, well, my dog's pretty good now, so I'll stop doing this part or that part. Or it's like, no, that doesn't work. If you want your dog to be trained, you have to keep doing it over and over and over, even when it seems redundant, because otherwise your dog will just revert back. Now, I'm not saying that you have to live like your dog's in a board and train for the rest of your life, because for, say, the first month or two after you go home, yeah, you'll basically continue the board and train only at home. I did all the hard work for you and the teaching and all that, but you still have to go home and maintain it and build your relationship with the dog, because that's the one thing I can't do for you. But then even after that month or two is up, while you still can't drop everything, you will be able to loosen things up a bit and have more freedom and, start really being able to enjoy life with your dog more. But there's still things like you still have to make sure your dog walks behind you, or you still have to make sure that your dog will calm down when you ask them to lay down or go on place or stuff like that. So while some stuff is just you do it for a month or two and it is kind of a quick fix, there's some stuff like the walking, duration work, and various things like that where it's not just like something you're going to do for a month or two and then be done. It's more like something that you're going to do just as long as you have your dog, because that's what it takes to maintain the training. And if you want to maintain the training, and if you want to have a trained dog, then that's the work you need to put in. So like I said, it's not really that it's hard work. Your dog's already taught what to do and knows what to do, and it should just kind of be second nature as you're going through life. But you do actually have to do it, even though it's not difficult. You have to still walk your dog every day and make sure they follow you every time. And if they start to go in front, even if it's 5 or 6 months down the road or 2 years down the road, you have to say, no, you still need to walk behind me. And you have to be willing to do that. Because if you're not, then you're not really going to ever be very successful with having a trained dog or getting a trained dog. But if you are willing to do that, and you are willing to take the little bit of extra time it takes to really give your dog what your dog needs and deserves, then you can have a dog that is trained, and you can have the freedom of taking your dog places off leash and having them run around and play, and knowing that they'll come back whenever you call them, and you'll be able to walk, without your dog lunging and barking and pulling. And so the rewards are far greater than the small amount of time it takes to maintain the training, but you just need to be aware that you are going to have to maintain it and that you have to be willing to do it. Because if you're not, then there's really not a lot of point in getting your dog trained in the first place. But if you are, then you and your dog can both really enjoy life together far more than you would be able to otherwise, and with far more freedom. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Hendricks with Follow the Leader Dog Training.